Hey there, welcome to Commission Friends, where I talk to people we all know, but we could get to know a little better. Today we have Conor on. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great, thanks for coming on. All right, so first let's go back to the beginning. You talk a bit about where you grow up, what your family is like, and if you play any sports growing up.
Sure, yeah. So I was born in New Jersey. Lived there for about 2 years, and then moved to Minnesota for a year and a half. And then right after that, moved to Connecticut, where I spent 10 years, and that's where I played the majority of my sports. I played uh, t-ball for 2 years, and then it just wasn't for me. And then I played soccer for until I moved to Virginia, which I moved right before I started freshman year of high school. And then I continued with soccer for another 2.5 years, and then uh, just I was just not the best at all, so I stopped playing. Decided to coach for a year and a half. So I coached with one of my friends there, and then yeah, I came to Michigan.
Nice. So you're a national or White Sox and Nationals fan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And are you a fan of like those teams for the other sports too?
Um, I'm kind of all over first sports. So like I'm a White Sox fan because when I was in Minnesota, I fell in love with AJ Pierzynski, the
Oh
player.
yeah.
And then I just, because I was young, I'm like, oh, I'll just follow him. So I just followed him to the White Sox, and I just stayed with the White Sox forever. And then I'm a national fan as well. That's just because I was in DC. And then football is the Packers because I'm technically an owner of the Packers.
Nice.
And then hockey is the Islanders, and the Capitals because I was in DC, and then the Islanders. So where I was in Connecticut, their AHL affiliate was about 20 minutes from my house. So I would go to a bunch of the Islanders minor league teams games. Like we had a half season package at one point, so I'd go see a bunch of those games. Like I've seen I think five or six of the players on the current Islanders roster, like on the current Islanders roster, like play in the minor league. So that was fun.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
then and then basketball. I'm kind of a Wizards fan, but that's the one I follow the least out of the major four.
okay, yeah. That's cool. And then how did you start playing in fantasy sports?
Yeah, so my dad got me into it. My dad started playing fantasy in college when he was in college, and then I would just always like kind of watch him do it and help him with his drafts, and not really obviously because I was 10, but
Yeah.
just help him with the draft and stuff like that. And I think fifth or sixth grade, my dad finally said, "Okay, yeah, sign up for one." So I did an MLB.com league when MLB started fantasy, and it was the most simple league ever. Like it was like a roster, and you instead of just drafting individual pitchers, you just drafted a pitching staff,
Yeah.
and that was kind of interesting. And then in 2012, I joined a league my dad had been in there for a few years with a bunch of his friends from work. So it was me and then a bunch of 40-year-old people. But that was really fun, and I'm still in that league now. I and then and then I've been in two other dynasty type baseball leagues for these 6 other years, and then which are on score sheet. So it's this kind of small niche fantasy site, but they actually simulate games for you, and the defense matters and stuff. So it's very different from most, and it's kind of fun. And
Okay.
then and then I did a fantasy football league with my dad's work friends as well. And then that stopped a few years ago. And then when that stopped, I joined a 32 team fantasy football league with
Oh wow.
some friends from Virginia. And oh my, it's an absurd league. It's 32 teams, obviously. So there's only, each team only will probably have one quarterback and one kicker, and there's also a salary cap and individual defensive players, and it's so much fun, but it's just because it's so different.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then what about fantasy hockey or basketball?
So I've done a bunch of like seasonal leagues that just a few times with friends who just randomly sign up like on ESPN one day. And then obviously I'm in the Dynasty Hockey League through M-SABR, and that's been fun. Like but basketball has never been my biggest sport I'm into, so I just don't really do fantasy basketball. But I've done fantasy hockey a few times.
Okay, yeah. And what would you say is your favorite fantasy sport?
Um, for me, it's probably just baseball because I've played it the longest and I'm the most into it. I'd say like just because I've done it for almost 10 over probably about over 10 years now. So I'm just
Yeah,
so ingrained in it and know so much about it now.
yeah, for sure. Okay, next question will be, how did you get to University of Michigan, and then after that, how did you get to M-SABR?
Yeah, so I got to Michigan. I'll go a little bit back. So in Virginia, um, I started writing for my high school sports website. Just my mom knew a friend who knew the athletic director for high school, and I was just always at the games and doing stuff. So she recommended me. So I started writing um, just recaps and stuff for the school sports website. And then I was also in a sports and entertainment marketing class that my school offered somehow. It was really cool. So like I started thinking about that. I'm like, that's really cool, but I didn't really think I could do it past, high school. I'm like, there's no way that's like a real job people could have. And
Mm.
then so then I started researching more and I found sports management. And then I did a 3 week summer class, like an intro to sport management class at Ithaca College in upstate New York. And I really enjoyed that. So that was right before applications started opening for like that was between junior and senior year of high school. So then I really started looking into sport management, and that's where I found Michigan. And like for sport management, a lot of schools that offer it are more D2, D3, like super small schools and stuff. And Michigan had
Yeah,
one of Michigan is obviously an amazing academic school as well as athletics. So combined kind of both. So and it luckily worked out. But like I was hoping to, major in sport management and also work for a team or like work for the athletic department, stuff like that, which both worked out. And then I found M-SABR just, I think it was at Festival. I was just wandering Festival my freshman year, and I saw probably Zane and Max and just signed up there and came to the first few meetings, and then came to a bunch my freshman year, and then it started decreasing. Just I got busier and busier, but you know,
yeah.
yeah,
And the rest is history.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and I know you went to like a ton of like sporting events, right? Back when Hale was a thing, you were like one of the top point getters, right?
Yeah. So my freshman year, I was technically on the leaderboard. I was second. I'm pretty sure I was first, but I was second on the leaderboard. So yeah, I've I went to pretty much every single sporting event on the Hale app, which included standing outside of Chrysler and finding the correct spot to stand outside of Chrysler because I didn't have basketball season tickets, and just stand outside of Chrysler, check in, and then walk back. But but then
Yeah.
yeah, I went to all the field hockey games, all the women's gymnastics meets, all the track meets, like tennis, everything. I went to the cross in 20-degree weather. But yeah.
Nice. Then you eventually became a manager of gymnastics, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I was the manager for 2 years, which included winning a national championship and a Big Ten regular season championship. That was a lot of fun. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
fun.
for sure. How was that experience overall?
It was amazing. Like everyone there was just so nice, and like it was obvious. It was obviously a lot of work for me. Like I pretty much had the same schedule as they did. Like I went to the gym every day. Every day they had practice. Did a lot of like moving of mats and helping set up practices and stuff like that, as well as planning all their trips that they went on. And I got to travel on those trips too, but coordinating meals and everything like that. But it was just so rewarding, so much fun. Everyone was so nice, and I've made a lot of good friends there and some great connections. And yeah,
Nice. Yeah, you probably traveled like all over the country, right?
yeah. So we went. It was supposed to be much better this year, but COVID messed it up. But we went. I've been to University of Illinois, University of Iowa, Texas was where the national championship was. Minnesota. Trying to think where else we went to. Columbus, Ohio, everyone's favorite place. Yeah, so it was a lot of Big Ten schools, but it was still a lot of fun. Like I would never have gone to Iowa, or I went to Nebraska as well. Like the two states I probably never would have just chosen to go to. So it was great to be able to go to those states and see them for a little bit at least.
Yeah, nice. That sounded awesome.
Yeah.
And next question will be, what is your favorite hobby outside of, sports and like fantasy sports?
Yeah, so over quarantine I started running. So I've enjoyed that. I need to do it some more, but I definitely enjoyed that. And then I really enjoy playing like board games with friends and family and stuff like that. Like my dad has a huge board game collection, so I've just always grown up playing board games, and I enjoy having game nights with people. So I'd say board games are my favorite.
Nice. What are some of your favorites?
I'd say my favorite super popular one is Ticket to Ride. And then I enjoy Catan too, and a bunch of party games are a lot of fun too.
You know how at the end of semesters people just like leave stuff out on the curb that they want to get rid of. One time I saw Settlers of Catan like box, so I just took it. He's like, oh hey, that's pretty cool.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, next would be, do you watch a lot of like TV shows? And if so, what are you watching right now?
So I have a list of TV shows that I want to watch that's infinitely long and keeps going, but I definitely I watched all the recent Marvel shows. So I just finished Loki like 3 days ago, and then I just started a new show today actually. Ted Lasso, it's the Amazon or the Apple Plus show. I'm not watching it on Apple Plus, but that's good so far. And then I'm trying to think what other. And then I'm Brooklyn Nine-Nine's coming back soon, so I'm excited for that show to come back. But
oh yeah, I love that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ted Lasso is the one where like the college football coach became the soccer coach, right?
Yeah, Ted Lasso. Yeah, like I keep seeing trailers for it on Twitter. I'm like, okay, that kind of looks interesting. So I'm not paying for Apple Plus, but Apple TV Plus, whatever it's called. But I started watching that today.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, I watched the first episode so far, and it was pretty funny. So I'll definitely keep watching it.
Nice. And what about music? Are you a big music guy? And if so, what do you listen to right now?
I pretty much listen to every music genre. Like I don't really have a particular music genre. Like I have a Spotify playlist, which is just I think over almost 3,000 songs now or something.
Oh yeah, same.
So like I listen to everything from like the Beatles to Bruce Springsteen to country to Broadway shows to like British rap, pretty much whatever.
Ooh, British rap, nice. And what about podcasts?
Yeah, I keep meaning to listen to more podcasts, but I think the two I listen to the most are Sports with Katie Nolan. It's the ESPN Katie Nolan. She had a Fox Sports show, but that one's really funny. It's like a comedy sports podcast. Okay, and then also Podcast Divide. It's a podcast about theme parks and stuff that I really enjoy. It's a good comedy podcast, but it's theme parks, and they talk about rides and shows and stuff about theme parks and Disney and stuff like that. So I enjoy that one as well.
Oh, nice. And what speed do you listen to your podcasts on?
Podcasts are just 1 times speed, but most YouTube videos for me are 2 times speed.
Oh yeah. And next will be you graduated undergrad recently, right?
Yep.
And then what are you doing right now, and like what are your plans for the future?
Yeah, so I graduated in May, and then had 2 months off, and then I'm currently in a 1-year master's program through Ross, and it's just a master's of management, and I just did that because for a lot of sports jobs there weren't many opening up right when I graduated, right before, so I'm like there weren't really many options, so I doing this 1 year's master's, and then hopefully, and then there will be a lot more sports jobs opening up next May and stuff. and
Yeah.
I'm hoping to work for an athletic department in the communications role, which is what I'm kind of doing an internship now with Michigan. So it's like writing articles for their website and stuff like that, recap and stuff like that, and then um, social media and stats and everything like that. So it combines a lot of my interests. So I really enjoyed it with Michigan. So hoping to do that in the future.
Oh, nice. So you covering like sports that are still going on right now, or are there any still going on? Or
No, so there's not any going on right now, but I'll start that internship in the fall and for the next school year. So I'll be working with the athletic department again.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of articles have you been writing? Like what sports and stuff?
So Michigan's very protective of their website, which makes sense because they're Michigan. But
Yeah.
I've written two scholar athlete stories on two of the women's gymnasts here, and then I recently wrote an article about a month or two ago now about like about the experience of winning a national championship, like through all the gymnasts' point of views and stuff, and that was a really cool article. I enjoyed writing.
Nice.
But then I'll be working with men's soccer and women's gymnastics again through the communications department. So hopefully I'll be able to write another article or two at least.
Nice. It sounds pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you want to do after college, right?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Next question will be, what was your favorite memory from Michigan?
Well, so the obvious one is winning a national championship, but
Yeah.
I think another one, like I've I've enjoyed going to a lot of the sporting events here, like obviously, but I think there's two that stand out to me that not many people went to, but and they're both against Ohio State. It was one of them was my freshman year. It was a volleyball match in Chrysler, and it went to these 5 sets against Ohio State, and there was actually students there, and it was so much fun just like seeing a huge like a Michigan team first one beat Ohio State, and then two just all the students getting into volleyball of all sports, like the entire Maze Rage area of Chrysler was just full and stuff, and that was so much fun. And then same with it was I think my junior year, it was Michigan Ohio State women's basketball, and I was good friends with the women's basketball manager, so I went to just go support him and everything. And then it was an amazing game. Like Michigan came back down like by 15 and against Ohio State in the fourth quarter, and the few students that were there were really into it, and that was a lot of fun. And then obviously, the my great freshman year with the Jordan Poole shot and everything like that. But I think
Oh yeah.
two smaller ones were Michigan volleyball and women's basketball as well.
Oh nice. Okay, so I just thought of another good question too.
Yeah.
Okay, aside from like the top three, basketball, football, hockey, and take gymnastics out of it too, what was your
Okay.
favorite sport to go to as a fan?
Yeah. So number one is hockey for sure. But then I think two is volleyball. I really enjoyed the volleyball.
Oh, nice.
And then or men's soccer, but men's soccer depended on the crowd. If it was a good crowd, men's soccer second. If it was a bad crowd, volleyball second. It just depended on the crowd. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
hockey as a fan was always number one for me.
Yeah. The men's soccer, if they have like a good student section, they can get pretty rowdy too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Men's soccer, depending on the team and depending on the time of year and stuff. Like the game after festival, there's always usually the day of festival. There's always usually a men's soccer game that night, and they have buses for everyone to get there and everything. And usually the entire student section's full, and that one is usually so much fun.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay, and then what were some of your favorite places to eat at Michigan?
Yeah, so I didn't really eat out that many places. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like I've gone to more Ann Arbor establishments, I think in the past 2 months than I did in my previous 4 years here. But I think my favorite one is Blue Tractor. I've been there a few times and I've enjoyed that one.
Okay, where is that?
It's a barbecue place, like in downtown area, and it's really good.
Oh, nice. Wait.
Yeah.
What about some of the runs like on campus kind of?
Uh, I go to Pancheros a few times, Panera, just stuff like that. Like I haven't gone to many of the local places really, but I'm doing that slowly over this last year I'm here.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, Pancheros is awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that was all the questions I had. Is anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.